Alright guys, just making a very quick video today. It's basically just a very quick, unscripted, theory crafting, speculative video. This is just going to be, fairly very opinionated. You don't have to take this video entirely serious as the absolute truth. But I'm going to title the video something like, we've all been leveling incorrectly. I think every single class in World of Warcraft could, potentially, be leveling incorrectly. And the reason for that comes down to stat priority. So most guides out there, they recommend for you to just stack your primary damage stat, which can be strength or agility. Obviously intellect doesn't actually increase spell power. So but the thing is, guys, like if you stack your primary your primary attack stat, the differences that the gear pieces actually give is fairly unnoticeable, in all honesty. And I feel like you have to go into a dungeon to really get a significant stat bonus from any piece of gear. And if you're power leveling, then going into a dungeon is actually going to slow down your leveling time anyway. But if you look, basically I think this is becoming more been brought to light a little bit more recently by other YouTubers and other videos, but the spirit stat is an extremely useful stat at reducing your overall downtime, because it regenerates your health massively and it regenerates your mana. Okay, and there's another few interesting things to note is spirit scaling. So spirit scales oddly well on certain classes that you wouldn't expect. For instance, the warrior. I know that spirit scaling is really good on a warrior. I know it's less good on a rogue, so maybe this whole video does not really apply to rogues. I know that just stacking, because obviously like stacking, if you're a caster, then stacking intellect is only going to increase your mana pool, but there isn't really, you have to stack spell damage to actually increase your spell damage. So the thing is, so basically spirit is normally more actually useful, because what it does is it reduces the amount of time you actually have to drink. And there's a few classes, I know priest and warlock have spirit enhancing talents, so whenever a priest gets a killing blow, their spirit is increased. And if a spirit stat is already high, then that effect is magnified even further. And the same goes for warlock. So they have a talent where if they use drain soul and get a killing blow, they get a similar kind of spirit tap effect similar to the priest. However, another thing, while we're on the topic of warlocks, I noticed when I was leveling warlock, the last time I leveled warlock, is shadow damage scales with life tap. So I experimented with a build where I basically stacked loads and loads of shadow damage, and my life tap would cost 300 health, but give me like 600 mana when it's only supposed to be giving me 300. So I literally doubled the life tap effect by stacking shadow damage. And also, when you stack shadow damage, you massively increase your dot damage to the point where you put all your dots up, but it's almost as if you're putting an extra dot up, because your shadow damage has magnified the dot damage so much. So in my experience, this is just my personal experience, I actually think stacking shadow damage as a warlock is better. And possibly also stacking spirit might be more optimal, say for instance, than stacking something like intellect. Another thing to note is that you can magnify the effects of the spirit stat even further by pressing the X key on your keyboard, because that sits you down. It should be X anyway, it might be for, it depends. I know I have it set as X, so I'm pretty sure like your regeneration is increased by like 50% when you're sat down. So that's mana and health regen. So, and if you already have very high spirit, then you're further enhancing and exploiting your spirit stat. You will from time to time just get into situations where, especially when it's a fresh server launch, you will be just waiting around a little bit longer for mobs to spawn, or you will be another particular, when spirit comes extremely useful is when you have to move to a different location. Say you're in a certain area, you've killed all the mob tags in that area and you have to move to a new area, right? If you have to stop and drink for like 15-20 seconds before you move, Well, one, that's automatically slower, because if you have a high spirit stat, you can probably by the time you get there, you may have regenerated enough mana or enough health to just get you back into the action again. And two, someone else might get there before you and steal the tag from you. So this is why I think Spirit, I think it needs more experimentation with every single class, but I honestly think that most classes are probably going to be better stacking Spirit. And when Classic launches, I'm going to experiment stacking Spirit on a Rogue. And I'm also playing a totally different build to what most people build. And you know what, I don't care. Like, I'm going to just experiment with a Ghost Strike high Spirit build and see where it goes. But the main point of this video was to highlight how Spirit is actually pretty underrated, and it's probably the most beneficial stat to actually stack, even on like melee classes like Warriors, because of the scaling is so damn high. So anyway, I'm probably going to end the video there. My name is Metagoblin. Until my next video, ciao.